During the group stages of IEM Katowice, Astralis were dealt a shocking 16-1 defeat at the hands of Spirit, and we're going to find out precisely how it's happened over here on Dust 2. So getting into this opening pistol round, notice the utility here on Chopper and Magix, and this is going to be a big factor of how this round plays out. So the Astralis put their nades down. In response, Magix, he drops his smoke and calls for these rotates to come in from CT and towards this kind of short position. And as this one plays out, we need to notice the flashbangs that are being thrown. All these flashbangs coming out to allow Magix to swing and try and take some good fights versus these Astralis players. But clearly Astralis, they're not really coming for long, but you can see how it really would have played out with those flashes. Now Magix, he does pick up one frag, but really the hit from Astralis is coming in from short or catwalk, and they're leaving just one player in Magix lurking towards his long position, and this will give Magix a lot of problems, and he's forced to fall into this CT area. Now notice how Magix and Chopper here, they're backing themselves into the wall, covering each other's backs, and allowing themselves to take the best possible fights onto these remaining Astralis players as they clean this one up and get this map off to the perfect start for Team Spirit. So jumping into this first gun round of the game, notice that Spirit have 2 SMGs and a scout in play, and we normally call this a bonus round. So on these bonus rounds, you might want to play a little bit more of an unusual setup and try and catch your opponents off guard. So Magix here, he started the round towards long, put down some of his utility, but after seeing nobody's rotated off to play with his teammates towards this short and mid position. So in terms of Magic's teammates, we have Chopper here in towards catwalk. He's looking into the wall, he's waiting for that flash from Magix, and then he can swing out. We have SDY over here towards the B side of mid. He's ready to face the doors at any time off the contact of his teammates. And we have Mir over here playing close to the mid doors. And Mir right now, he's playing anti-flash because he's just heard some noise from Glaive over here. He's just heard the flash being thrown and he's turning that flash right now. So watching this one play out, Mir, he does a great job to turn the flash, peeks out, great frag onto Glaive. And now going back over to Magix, he's going to release that flash off this kill. Chopper swings out, catches Device from behind. Device is looking to kill Mir, but the team play is just too good. Now over with Dexter, he's the solo player here on the B bomb site. He could be in a little bit of trouble towards his back plat position, but he does such a great job to pick up 1 and a second kill, just staying alive and buying time for the rotates. He frags out so well. Mir comes over and they clean this one up. So watching this setup again from above, just notice how they have 4 players here playing in towards mid. They're leaving long totally open. Dexter's alone on the B bomb site, taking a bit of a risk, but as we said, on these bonus rounds, it can be really great to play these sort of unusual setups, and it works out perfectly here for Team Spirit. Now, a common theme during this match was Spirit being very proactive on the CT side and making it really hard for Astralis to predict where those CTs were playing. So in this round, we have SDY and Mir over towards this B bomb site, and they've decided we haven't seen much for a while. We're going to push in towards this B tunnels position and try and get some information for our team. But unfortunately, pushing in, Zipnix, he is ready and waiting, and SDY goes down immediately. Now with Mir, he's going to put down his smoke and recover the smoke from the body of SDY. And at this point in the round, Mir is the only player for Team Spirit on the B side of the map, and they've got 3 over towards this A bomb site. And Mir does something really interesting. He puts down his smoke and his molly and then smokes again towards the mid doors. He shows 2 smokes and makes it look like there are 2 players on this B bomb site for Spirit, and Astralis, they bite. They think there are only 2 players left on A for Team Spirit, and they decide we're going to commit out of these long doors into 3 defenders on this A bomb site, and soon enough these Astralis players, they'll be coming out. So Magix is playing this really wide angle holding the long doors, and Dexter over here towards the car position. This is a really great spot because even though he's posted up now on catwalk, he can easily pivot into fighting towards long with his teammates. And as this one plays out, even though Magix only goes 1 for 1, Dexter makes the instant reaction to come over and help. He nets 2 for himself, and even though eventually here he'll fall towards Zipnix, there's not enough time left, and Zipnix, he's forced to save. So this round is just a really great example of Spirit being proactive. even though they lost a player initially on that tunnels push, Mir, he showed 2 smokes, jukes out Astralis, and Dexter here made the instant call to fight with his teammates, nets some great frags, and secures the round for Spirit. Now, another big factor in this result was most certainly individual brilliance from Team Spirit. And on this round, Chopper and Magix, they're grouped up towards long. They're putting down some utility, but there's only 2 players here for Spirit, whilst 3 players from Astralis, they'll soon enough be exploding themselves out of these long doors. And as this round plays out, this is about to get extremely exciting. So with Chopper, it's only when Astralis smokes onto this molly and this flash comes over the top. This is his first warning that Astralis players might be coming, and his reaction time here to turn the flash and then flick back on towards these long doors is absolutely unbelievable as he gets 2 frags, putting Spirit straight into a 5-on-3. Now, jumping forward a bit in the round, with limited utility remaining, these Astralis players are forced to run boost out of Catwalk, but it doesn't really pan out. SDY finds 1, and then Chopper and Magix combine for these remaining frags. As in this video, we're going to talk a lot about great team play, great strategy, great calling, but this round was all Chopper, and what a hold it was. So staying on the topic of individual excellence, sometimes raw skill can bail you out of a very tricky situation. So in this round, like we've seen a few times already, Choppy's coming in towards long, and Spirit, they have 3 players coming for this control, but Astralis, they've got 4 coming themselves to take this long area. Now, as this one plays out, Choppy tries to get himself in towards the pit, but unfortunately, those Astralis players, they get out aggressively and they frag him down. Now, after this, Dexter gonna flash high left above Magix for Magix to swing out, and Magix gets 2 massive frags to put it into a 4-on-3 and back into a man advantage. So over towards the mid area, we have Mir playing close to these mid doors and SDY a bit further back. And what's happened here is Spirits have given up the B bomb site and decided to play in towards mid because of all these trades coming in towards long and all these Astralis players they've spotted. And as this one plays out, SDY holds the doors crossed, catches Magisk, puts it into a 4-on-2, and from here the round essentially is over. So watching this one again from a wide shot, let's see how Spirit came for this control on towards long. So Chopper, he was throwing that doors molly on the fly, swinging out on the fly, whilst these flashes from his teammates are popping to try and make it a little bit safer. Now, the problem that happened here from Spirit is that Dexter hesitated. He should have flashed again behind these 2 players for them to swing out and take the duels together, but what happened was Chopper in towards pit essentially took a 1 versus 1 whilst Astralis players were facing on their own flashes, and only later on does Magix swing on this flash, but it's too late for them to work together. But Magix, he bails them out, and this is just a great example of how a mistake turns into a great situation for Spirit off the back of individual brilliance. Now, something Spirit excelled at during this game was saving their nades into putting them down in the perfect situations. And on this round, Chopper and Magix, they were coming for some control towards long, but with all this presence and players from Astralis, they're forced to give it up and play in towards Catwalk instead. So Magix here, he's jiggling around on the bomb site, he's looking for some information, whilst Chopper, he's pushing in towards Catwalk and linking up with his teammate. In Dexter here on the AWP, also towards Catwalk, as well as Mir in towards his mid doors, coming through towards his Xbox area. In Spirits here, they're getting some really great information, very proactive, and now with this information in towards mid, as well as this tunnels push, which will be coming out soon enough, they've got all the information they need, and they know it's very likely to be a long hit from Astralis. So rotating their way over, what's going to happen here is when Astralis put down their nades, make loads of noise in response, Dexter and SDY down below in towards CT, they're going to double nade Zipnix over here. And as these nades come down, these nades will kill Zipnix and put them straight into a 5 versus 4. Loads of mollies going down as well for good measure. Now, because of the terrace mollies coming behind Dexter, he's forced forward and he decides, I want to try and make a play. So he pushes around this smoke. It doesn't quite work out, but it was a fairly good attempt. And jumping forward in this round, it's going to end in a 3-on-3 retake. And as Astralis taps the bomb, they explode out on this flash. Chopper swinging wide. SDY finds 1. Chopper finds a 2nd. And this final kill comes in from SDY, jumping on his Tech 9. Now, watching this one play out again on board with Magix, He's decided to play behind these kind of grain bags, duck down, look into the wall, make his hitbox as small as possible. And the whole idea is when he hears these Astralis players coming, when he hears the nades going down, he's going to put his smoke down and play around it. And that's what he does. Smoke goes down, molly and nade as well. He might die here, but he did get off a lot of utility. And now watching from a wide shot, as these Astralis players come up, the instant they start making noise, because of all this information for Team Spirit, they knew it had to be long. All of these nades come off, double nade onto Zipnix. Dupree comes into the flames trying to recover this bomb. He also goes down, so much damage being dealt by this utility, and it certainly was a big factor in this round win for Spirit. So turning our attention onto the B bomb sites, we have SDY playing on the back of the platform on his AWP and Mears up close on his rifle. And looking at the map, as we can see, Astralis there groups up towards tunnels, and soon enough they'll be exploding out and trying to get onto this B bomb site. Now as this terrorist smoke comes out the end of the tunnels, Mir decides I'm going to play in towards this cubby, in towards this corner, and when he hears the flashes, he turns all those flashes to fast kills and dancing around. He makes himself a difficult target, makes it free, and a fourth one soon will follow as Mir and SDY combine for a near perfect hold and really shut down this Astralis hit. So as we said, as this smoke lands, Mir decides I'm going to play in towards this cubby in the corner. And when the Astralis players explode out, all of their flashes go into this corner. Mir dodges all of them and mops up all of these frags. As we know, the rotates come over and SDY finds the final kill to close this one out. Now, something you can do is one of the players rotating and is flashing high right behind your teammates to give them a bit of a hand. Just a small little bit of team play that can have a big impact as Spirit makes it 13-0 here versus Astralis. So one aspect we've mentioned a few times already is Spirit's gathering of information. And on this round, Dexter, he starts off towards long, but he's forced back by the flashes and he decides, I'm going to play in towards this car position. So at this point, Spirit, they've lost long. It's in the hands of Astralis. And the decision from them is to give up the B-bomb site and play into mid and gather some information back for themselves. So jumping on board with SDY, he drops his smoke on towards the tunnels, and as we said, they're going to give up the B-bomb sites here and push in towards mid with SDY sitting further back, and Mears going to be pushing up close on his rifle, whilst Chopper is also coming in from Catwalk, and Chopper nets a nice frag to make it a 5-on-4. Now back towards long with Dexter, he's still in exactly the same spot. It's been sat here the entire round, and at this point, Team Spirit, they're pretty confident it's long, and they're leaning all 5 players over towards this long position. So watching this one play out on board with Dexter, the Astralis players eventually will start rounding the corner. They do put a smoke down here, try and help themselves get into pit, but because Dexter's playing the spot by car, he can still spot the cross, and he drops device. Now behind this frag, he's going to fall behind the car, reposition a little, and Dupree in this smoke as it fades. Eventually, Dexter will be finding the final frag of the round and securing this one for Spirit. So jumping back a few seconds and on board with Chopper, as we said, a lot of the Team Spirit players were leaning towards this A-bomb site expecting a hit coming up of long. But Astralis, they were taking so long that Spirit, they start to hesitate, and Chopper decides we need to get some information. So he pushes Catwalk whilst SDY is looking up mid on his AWP. So Chopper, he's pushing his way around the corner. As we said, SDY is here to help on his AWP. Chopper pushing up of Catwalk, he'll catch Glaive jumping up, and SDY will find this final frag to make it a flawless CT side for Spirit. So jumping onto the terrorist side, we join Spirit in this terrorist pistol round, and Chopper, he'll be flashing over for Dexter and Mir to make their way out of the long doors, and Dexter is going to play behind this blue bin. So jumping forward a little bit in the round, we have players towards this lower tunnels area, and Chopper is going to smoke onto the hinge, and they're going to make their way up and on to Catwalk. And the call from Spirit on this round is to split the A-bomb site with 3 coming in from Catwalk and 2 over towards the long position, as we saw they got out there earlier on. So jumping on board with Dexter, they know there is a CT player in towards pit, and in a few seconds they will be double peeking Zipnix and finding the kill onto him, and they know that Device is here. The double peeking around the corner, they drop Device as well. So at this point, Chopper, he's planting the bomb, but he is alone on the A-bomb side. He gets swarmed by these CT players. He can't find the frag, and he goes down. And ultimately, Dexter here, he's going to be left in a 1 versus 3 scenario. So with his USP in hand, he takes a lot of shots there versus Dupree, but drops him in the end. But with only a few bullets remaining, he swaps onto that Glock, drops Glaive, and now we're in a 1 versus 1. He does get Magis to come off the bomb, but unfortunately, as he comes through for the knife, through the smoke, Magis will find the kill and deny the 16-0. So watching this one from above, you can see trading some shots here with these players in towards pit. This is how they knew that Xyp9x was definitely in towards pit. And what's going to happen is these long players are going to face as these players from Catwalk take contact. They swing out, trade on towards Xyp9x, and they knew that Device was here because he just got some kills, so they frag him as well. And I actually think at this moment when the bomb is getting planted and they have players out long and in towards pit with a good plant for pit, in this 3-on-3, there was a real chance that this could have been a 16-0. But obviously, it doesn't pan out in the end, but it was still a pretty good attempt from Dexter. So moving on to the following round, having lost the pistol but getting the plant in the process, Team Spirit, they're forcing up and they actually have a pretty good buy here with 2 Galils, an AK and some pistols in play. Now grouping up towards tunnels with 4 players and moving into these lower tunnels, what we have is Chopper here at the top of mid, and he's lining up a flash. And what's going to happen is on his flash through those mid doors, all these players are going to explode out and look for some jewels. Now, unfortunately for them, Astralis, they have loads of players in the vicinity and they get chewed up by the crossfires. And even though Dexter here goes 1 for 1, ultimately they're left in a 2-on-4 scenario. Now from here, the Astralis player is going to make a sequence of small but very costly mistakes, starting with Xyp9x facing here towards Catwalk. He didn't need to. He allows Chopper to take a 1-on-1. We're back into a 2-on-3. And this mistake from Device to push in towards mid and just looking for frags is really, really costly, as now it's a 2-on-2 scenario. So as this one plays out, they recover the bomb. They decide we want to go towards B, but unfortunately they're caught through the mid doors, leaving just Chopper alone in a 1-on-2. He picks up an AK, recovers the bomb. And what happens next is he smokes the doors, and Magis thinks he has a chance to cover ground. He makes noise, Chopper knows he's there, and drops him to make it a 1 versus 1. So as Chopper flanks Glaive here to close this one out, we've learned that being proactive on the defense, playing for information, small but brilliant pieces of team play, and of course some individual excellence sprinkled in along the way, allowed Team Spirit to 16-1, the greatest lineup Counter-Strike has ever seen, cementing themselves as a force to be reckoned with for some time to come.